Hey everyone, Tara here with the Style Signature, and I actually did this video yesterday, but I got interrupted by my daughter, and I just felt like it was such a sensitive topic that I figured I should start over when I didn't have any distractions. So the title of this video is How Sexual Harassment Made Me Realize How Lucky I Am. And I know that sounds a little odd because sexual harassment, that's just something that no woman wishes she ever had happen to her. But I did come to the realization that through this experience, I was able to make, I guess, lemonade out of lemons, so to speak. So kind of going back a little bit, I was at an event where I was at the Social Media Marketing World Conference in San Diego, which was an amazing conference. Absolutely highly recommend it. And I was part of I had a VIP access ticket, so they for us VIPs, they gave us all access. They threw some parties for us. It was really, really cool. Well, one of the events I attended was an evening event in downtown San Diego, so we were kind of dressed, a little more, I guess, sexy, for the lack of a better word. There was a big group of us, a group from Australia hanging out. There was a gentleman who actually was a volunteer for Social Media Marketing World Conference. He was a musician. I actually thought he worked for them. There was this guy from South Korea who was a great ballroom dance partner. I had a lot of fun with him. And then I had met this gal that we'd gone to dinner. So it was a big group of us hanging out, right? You guys kind of get the picture. So, and I'm kind of giving you some backstory so you guys understand. So we all had a really great time that evening. And when we were leaving, my girlfriend and my ballroom dancer from South Korea was like, hey, let's do a selfie. So of course we're like, Social Media Marketing World, of course we're gonna do selfies. So one arm around her, got my phone with the other hand, and we're taking a selfie. Well, as we're leaving the club, it's 11:30 at night, one of the musician gentlemen that I was speaking with, we were all hanging out, decided, he goes, hey, I want in on the selfie, right? And I was like, yeah, sure. So again, one arm around my girlfriend, one hand with the phone. He comes up next to me, and then that's when it happened. Next thing I know, he is literally, and mind my French, but he is literally rubbing his hands all over one side of my butt. Like, not I accidentally brushed up against you, not oh my gosh, I kind of fell, oops. It was a full-on grab and rub down while I was in a vulnerable position where none of my hands were free. And you can even see it in the picture, like half his face is cut out because I kind of dropped the phone, right? So I'm sitting there just kind of stunned. But the sad part was, and I don't know, hey cousin, how are you? Thanks for joining me. The sad part was that after it happened, I know you ladies are probably thinking, why didn't you slap him in the face, right? I should have, but it's 11:30 at night. I had been drinking, I'm there, I'm not with my husband, I'm not there, I'm there alone. So the last thing I want to do is get into a fight with this guy, right? So I'm just like getting into my Uber as quick as I can. But the sad thing is the whole way home, in my head, I was thinking, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to lead this guy on? Was I dressed too sexy? Was my behavior inappropriate? I kept blaming it on me, and I don't know if that sounds familiar to any of you ladies who have ever experienced an unwanted advance, especially one that became physical, where they actually laid their hands on you, that you started thinking back at your behavior saying, what did I do to deserve that? Well, I'm going to let you know, nothing. I literally had very little engagement with this gentleman, and for whatever reason, he thought when we were leaving and we were doing the selfie, he thought he could put his hands on me in a very inappropriate and disgusting manner and just completely take advantage of the situation. So if any of you have ever had that happen to you, seriously, not your fault, not to blame. But of course, in my head, and I'm a really strong, independent woman. I mean, anyone that knows me knows this. I'm sitting there going, what did I do? Like, what did I do to lead him on? I go back to my hotel room. I'm just kind of, grossed out by the whole thing. I went to bed, and the next morning I meet up with the same girlfriend at lunch at the conference. And we're sitting there at lunch, and we're with a couple other people, one gentleman in particular that we had invited over to, do some social media strategy. And she says to me, she goes, "Oh, there's Mr. Hansy over there." And I thought, oh God, I'm going to duck. Like, I don't want to see this guy. He just grossed me out, right? I just don't want any engagement with him at all. And the gentleman sitting next to us, who happened to be from Johns Hopkins University, really nice gentleman named Gus, he's like, "What happened? Why are you freaking out over this guy?" And so I proceeded to share what happened. I said, we were out last night at the big party, and he decided to lay his hands on me inappropriately. Like, he full on scooped and rubbed on my butt. Like, it was gross. Well, Gus, look, he absolutely looks mortified, right? And we had exchanged cards, and I just told him the story, and then we went on with our day. Well, later on that afternoon, he texted me and says, I was so upset and so disgusted by the behavior of this gentleman, I felt compelled to take it to the management at Social Media Marketing World Conference. And he said, "But I didn't give him your name because I didn't ask permission, and I didn't want to make you uncomfortable, but they really want to speak to you if you would have a conversation, because they are very upset about this guy's behavior, especially because he was a volunteer musician for the conference." So why do I feel lucky? So this whole story of why do I feel lucky after a sexual harassment engagement, and here's why. There's actually 4 reasons. One is it made me realize there are really good men out there that will be your advocate, and Gus was one of them. Because had it not been for his courage to take it to the powers that be, I would have never said anything, and I would have harbored this disgusting experience and really never had any vindication or any justice, right? Like, thumbs up for Gus. Like, this man was a gentleman. He was my knight in shining armor, and said, "No, this is not right. No man should treat a woman like this without her consent." So that was one reason why I feel that I'm lucky, because it proved to me there are really amazing, good men out there that will stand up for us. Secondly, the organization and the woman representative that came to speak to me was, again, on my side. And she was like, "This is not part of our standards. This is not how we expect our volunteers or even our staff to behave. I am taking this all the way to the CEO of our company because we will not tolerate this." So again, I feel lucky and blessed because this organization said, "No, we are not going to allow that to happen to our female attendees. This is not part of our value system." And they literally have blackballed this guy and said he's not welcome back. He's not able to use them as a reference. And this is a conference of 4,000 people, so it was a big gig. And so that's the second reason why I feel lucky, is that there are women who will advocate for you. There were women who will stand up for you and say, "No, this is not appropriate." And there's a whole organization that said, "This guy's a chump. We're not allowing this to happen to any of our women attendees. We want you to be safe and be in a safe environment." And then thirdly was, after I shared this with my husband, he was 100% on board and mortified and upset that this would happen to me. And it was like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me right away? Like, this should never happen to you." And so those are my reasons why, through this experience of sexual harassment, made me realize how lucky I actually am, because it came to realize that, like I said, there are men that will be knights in shining armor and be chivalrous and say, "No, this is not how a man should be treating a woman." There are other women who will do the same thing and say, "No, I'm going to be your advocate, and I'm taking this to the top because this is not right. Women as guests of our conference should not be allowed to be treated this way. We want you to be safe." The organization and the CEO said, "No, we do not want women attendees," and men for sure as well, but I'm speaking for myself. "We want this to be a safe and fun environment for all our female attendees, and we will not tolerate this." And they severed his relationship. And then to know that my family and my husband supported me 100%, saying, "Absolutely not. This is not your fault." So to hear that and be supported in 4 different ways just made me feel really lucky to realize that, yeah, there's people that make really bad decisions, and, you know, he did something completely inappropriate to me. I now feel like I have the strength because I realize that there are people out there that care about this issue and will support you. And the last reason I feel lucky is because of all of them, because of the way they responded, by the way that they supported me. I'm now able to share this with you, and I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel like it's my fault. And I feel very, very proud that these people stood up for me and reminded me that his behavior was highly inappropriate. And so now I can be a voice for you, any of you who are secretly saying in your head, well, that happened to me and it might have been my fault, or maybe I was dressed too sexy, or maybe I came on to him and gave him the wrong impression. Maybe. What did I do? And you're blaming it on yourself. Well, I'm here to tell you, I had the same conversation in my head. Do not blame yourself, because it isn't your fault. No always means no, and nobody has the right to put their hands on you in a way that makes you uncomfortable or makes you feel victimized in any way. And so I wanted to share this with you because through this experience, I guess I was able to make, you know, lemonade out of lemons, and not feel embarrassed by what happened, and not feel victimized, but feel like I was vindicated and justice was served, because this guy got booted and blackballed from this conference for his inappropriate behavior, and that people stood up for me. And so that's why it's titled How Sexual Harassment Made Me Realize How Lucky I Am, is because I came to realize that there are a support system. People want to encourage you to have a voice, and they do want to protect you. So I welcome any comments. I appreciate all of you joining me this afternoon, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. And again, if something like this has happened to you, or it resonates with you, or you know someone that this has happened to, encourage them to speak out, because there are people that say #MeToo, #SeeHer, and it is not your fault. Tara here with the Style Signature. I hope you have a beautiful and fabulous day.